Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Threadlings of Filmmaking Production Diary. I am your host, Miguel Ortega, and this is my co-host, Tran Ma.
Hey everyone.
How's everybody doing? Let's see. We got one person in the house, Ruben. So yeah, thank you guys. This is where we're showing the making of an animated short film in Unreal Engine. Um, we did one last year. It did really well for us, and we're doing it again. This one is about a colony of creatures made out of fabric and their war against the evil moths that want to eat them. It is super uh, dark, but it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Bobby, what's up, man? Happy holidays. And yeah, so today we're just showing some of the progress on the set. So this room was probably one of the first things that was kicked off, and you can see it's looking pretty damn good so far. Tran, do you want to show like some of the stuff that you guys got done this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all Unreal.
Um, so this room's changed a lot. It used to be really blue, and I was fine with that, but I think this is much better.
Yeah,
Uh,
it looked too dark, and it looked like a hippie's van that had like stained glass.
I was opening the sequence, and it looks so different now.
Looks better.
You think so?
Yeah,
I get worried with how these characters look sometimes. I think it's a little bit overlit.
it's overlit, but it like that looks good.
But yeah, so it's something like this. And I just,
It remember also that he has no expression, right?
yeah, I think it's just the materials sometimes. Like, I just get worried. I'm
I
always worried.
I think we got to try to see how we could get little fibers on it.
Yeah. Is that what you think it needs?
Yeah.
I feel like this is just Lumen. You can see it's like responding real time. They do look better at path tracing, I feel, but I don't feel like the environments look better in path tracing. So
Yeah, but
that's
I would definitely just I think it's the little fibers. I just think it needs it, and I think if we import the I think one of the next things we should do is try to figure out the FBX pipeline that now respects the shop modeling, and that way we could just bring in FBX, and we wouldn't have to be loading in these gigs worth of Alembic files. It's just an FBX, and at that point then you could just apply the fiber groom one time and then just apply it to all to all the shots.
yeah. I mean, I don't think it's just the fibers. I do think it's just the lighting. Like the characters to me look better in path tracing. They just look. I don't think it's the fiber thing. There's just something about it in a path tracer, but I don't think the environments look better in path tracing. And it's really slow and it's really hard to adjust. So there's that. But they're not bad looking. They still look cute, right? He's
Yeah,
cute.
he still looks cute. He's gonna look way cuter once he has an expression, because right now he's totally neutral,
Yeah.
and that's not a shot. That's just
No, it's just a test. Um, I don't know. I just haven't opened it in a while. So it's kind of like I just started the stream, like, how do I feel?
So we
So
got a few comments here. The amount of work on that room is awesome. Everything is looking great. Congrats. And that's from Flaku. Flaku, thank you. Uh, Next up, love the quilt texture in this room. I'd be taking a nap in here myself.
that's what we get.
I'd be taking mad naps in here. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what everyone says about the environment. So there's
it's all quilted.
yeah, there's some updates. Uh, it's almost all textured. We don't have this part done yet. So what I've been doing is I just been UVing all this crap. And then we have a team of amazing artists. So like Liz Chua did these two pieces and she really killed it.
She
And
just graduated. So
yeah,
if anybody's hiring,
yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I'm working so much on UVing this stuff because they're so good that it's like
they're gonna get snatched up real quick.
they're gonna disappear right away.
They will leave us.
So we're trying to get them to do as much as we can. And then this piece is made by Sasha, and she's done some beautiful variations of this. This is the most simple one. And then the only thing that it's not done as part of the base of the room are these pieces.
The
But
little steps.
yeah, the little steps and the chairs. You can totally tell that they're not done. They just look kind of drab. And then the difference that really good texturing work makes. It is hard for me to zoom in because it like stops. But maybe you can kind of see
Remember, let it sit.
some of the work here. Let me just find like a better spot and then I'll let it sit. It's not really well lit. And it's not going to be like lit in a way that you're gonna see it really clear. Can you see it clearly?
Yeah. When you move it, it just looks like brown. But the moment it sits, it looks great.
Okay. Yeah, so, all this is done here. And again, the UVing of this is extremely tedious and really boring, but it pays off. So that's a part of what I'm doing. And I have I left, which room did I leave? Yep, wrong door. So it's blurry, that's fine. Because let's move through. Oops. So for those who are new, you'll see how the room connects. So we have this classroom, and this is Caught. He's just kind of scale reference. They look so weird without clothing. I'll just hide them. And then the last stream, I did these windows, which is probably very boring for everyone, but I was super happy that I did the windows. Let me check the lighting. Nothing is really like lit nicely, right? They're just kind of, there is a lighting. It actually looks kind of cool when it's darker. Let me just shut the lights off. There's something moody about it,
Yeah, I like that.
right? And we don't really have any light fixtures. There's a couple of spotlights. So they're not lit for any particular shot. But I feel good about how the lighting looks because it means that it's only going to get better once we actually light for a shot. And on Voice in the Hollow, it was not like that. I felt like everything I did was like the lighting just looked bad all the time. And I don't know. I was like all confused. I do think Lumen has gotten much better though. And when we started, we were using like the version they said not to use. So
It was so bad back then.
yeah, and it was really unstable. And I do think again the lighting is better. I've also gotten better too. And I do think
Well, this model is just ridiculous. So it of course is going to light better because that's all geometry. There's no displacements on this. That's all of that is simulated cloth in Marvelous Designer. So it's just
yeah. So the mesh is super heavy. Like if I load one, it's like 3 million.
for a door.
Yeah, just for this thing. So none of it is optimized except for the texturing aspect, right? So it's really easy. The textures, like the UVs, are really great. Not to my own horn, but no one brags about being good at UVing anyway. But the mesh itself is not very clean. And then this piece was done by Sasha and Rain over here. But yeah, so
Remember, let it sit.
I'm actually not trying to show. I'm just trying to move.
No, but you should show because it's very pretty.
Okay. Yeah, so some other sections, and it's really all coming together. And there's some other pieces, like you can tell that are not textured. This one is new.
I thought Rain did this piece already.
Did she finish it? Oh, I think she might have. I have not grabbed the files
Yeah.
yet. So there's a lot of management. There's also light leaks. I'll probably put like you can kind of see it, just a piece of geometry in between. But this location here is pretty important. This is Zort's
That's
bedroom.
the most important location in a
Yeah,
way.
so we're definitely gonna have a lot of shots. I know it's blurry, but we're gonna have a lot of shots like coming from this section, and definitely facing like this door. And there's like this grand stairway right here.
That was all Substance Painter.
Yeah.
Ruben Dion is saying, looks fire, so inspiring. What is left to finish in the pipeline? Well, in the pipeline right now, for if you mean this environment, we need. So right now, what we're doing, we have a bunch of really talented guys that are helping us do some of the most boring stuff in the world, like mops and buckets and books. But it can't just be a regular bucket. Everything has to look like it's made out of fabric. So everything is simulated to look like fabric. So it's a pain in the ass. Um, so we still have to do all of that, like little tables that would be on the side, like a not a chalkboard, but like a cork board that would have like today's classes or next Saturday, auditions for whatever, that kind of thing that you see at a lot of schools, like Gnomon. Gnomon even has that. More rugs. We
Yeah,
need to
just
have
like a
light, like chandeliers and stuff like that.
yeah, like for the space Phil lived in. But like the bones of this is good.
The
And
bones are all done.
yeah, the bones are done, which I think is the biggest part. And we can just do shots and just have assets continue to be constructed. But
Yeah.
all this is done here now. And yeah, this is a new piece up here. This one's pretty cool because it's actually really sparkly.
Remember,
So
let it sit, or else it's just a brown
yes, I
blob.
know. I know. I wanted to actually do this
Yeah, that's good.
and maybe lower this just to see some of the texture work here. This is Sasha. Um, I think the choices were really cool. She chose this fabric. Uh,
It comes from the anteater from
yeah,
The Voice in the Hollow.
it's actually on the anteater, but you never really see it like this. But it just works so nice because it's sparkly and it's supposed to feel like a flame. Because the character has a fire crystal. So if you're new to this, you're like, what? All this stuff, but it's this character. He's not done either, texturally. The model is done, and he's rigged, and we just need to get his textures. So then this is not really his final look, but that's his bedroom. And, he is the chosen one in our story. So you can kind of see that. These windows are done. They were like just white before. So if you were looking in the last stream, I basically used the same technique to get this here and then some pieces up here. You can see they're blank. But they're not so tricky or difficult to do.
I kind of like how cool they look.
You mean this one here?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I made it bluish just to
Yeah.
kind of balance it out. So surprisingly, I was worried that you're going to say it looks like baby colors.
No, I think it
Because we
looks all
have,
right. I think them looking like baby colors is fine because they are like little babies.
yeah, it's like this beige, but the beige, this architecture. Let's see if I can pull up. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking for an image of like what this is inspired by. So like it's inspired by this type of architecture. I think that's a little color corrected. So let's look at this one.
That one's,
Right.
other one is an HDRI image.
That's why it's like that, right?
Yeah.
Let me pull. Let's see. Yeah. So basically something like this. I reference this one a lot here. Right. And so because it's inspired by this, that's why we have these arches. Of course, it's completely different. But that's why we also have like this kind of beige type of color going on. And then it is a little bit babyish once it becomes quilts. So, which is interesting. Like, and then we have like the Hall of Halls where, I don't know, once it's dark, a lot of stuff could really happen here. I'll show you what it looks like with a light, like a sunlight. Because right now, like there's a question there about our lighting. There's nothing really special about lighting.
Right now, the light we have at the moment is just so we could navigate. It's not like the film lighting.
Yeah, if you see, like I have in my outliner, I have an HDR backdrop and I have fog so that it gives it some atmosphere. But even if I kind of turn it off, like right now, what's illuminating it is these windows, and they're just emissive materials. So they're not like refractive. You can't see through them. They just emit light. And then there is a post process. So I'll turn this on here, the HDR.
But what's cool about that is when you do that, like when we have the finale and everything goes to hell, it looks like a freaking horror film.
Yeah, so and then there is a post process here that kind of punches it up a little bit. It's not really a lot. There's not a lot going on. There's a little bit of contrast. Um, there used to be like saturation because I like to have things more saturated, but it doesn't work. So we have some contrast. The temperature, there's no temperature shift. I do like to have the vignette.
Yes, on ray tracing.
So we have a vignette, but it's super simple. Um, yeah, there's not actually a lot going on in here. There might be chromatic aberration.
So let's go to the well, I don't want to rush you because I actually think what you're showing is really awesome.
Um,
So show like the blue windows because that was a new addition, and everything has a purpose. So you could see the windows are mostly blue, or they have like these bluish patterns to them, and then they have a single red diamond. So that's a big part of the story. All of these characters are born from a blue crystal
yeah,
except for one, which is the Thread Tempest.
yeah. So there's like a strong belief that everyone in this colony subscribes to, which is like the belief of the chosen one. All the Threadlings have blue crystals, like Miguel said, and we just have one person with the red crystal, and they're not guaranteed to always have that. It's just like if anyone's like into the lore stuff, you already kind of understand that. But Zor is this really important character. I realize there's a window missing here. Let me just copy it over. Give me.
I like how this set is so big that you could like forget something so big and uh, not even notice it.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's rotated wrong.
Okay, so last a few questions from Bobby R. First of all, what's up, Netbug? Bobby R. Let's see what he's saying here. So last week you were talking briefly on mocap. Are you going to use mocap X for the facial performances, like voice in the hollow? Which software is best for face mocap? I don't know if mocap X is the best one, but it's the one we used. There's another one that is pretty cool called Faceware. Is it Faceware? Um, I'm gonna look into it. What I like about Faceware is it feels like you can calibrate it more. Mocap X is very much like what you get is what you get. Um, so I'm gonna look into that for sure because that's the next step. So our next, this is what we're doing now. We're buying another mocap suit, so we're gonna have two of them because this film relies so much on two characters working together. So we're getting a second suit. We're buying it like right away.
Yeah,
Um,
this looks haunting. Sorry to cut you
and
off.
then the face stuff, we are going to look into that. Is it going to be mocap X? What I like about mocap X is I don't have to learn something new, and I just freaking hate learning new stuff. Like my brain is the hard drive is full. I've defragmented and it's still full. It's done. There's no more space.
Yeah,
So
I know the lighting's acting a little bit weird up here. I was just looking at this, but sorry to cut you off.
no, it's all good.
I'm just looking at
So
this,
we'll see. Yeah.
and this is like really good for certain scenes. Like it feels so creepy with this light,
It's kick ass.
right? Because we do have like it's not all fun. It's not all cute either. Um, but I feel like this could be really creepy hallway. No?
Yes, for sure.
And then this is our rotunda.
This Tran started building during one of the streams, so you guys can see the results of it.
Yeah, so this is now done. Let me try to frame this in here. There's a little bit of cleanup. There's parts that are untextured, but they are all ready to be textured, to be passed on. We have the windows. We have this theme here. So I did make new pieces because I thought the floor was really busy, and this kind of breaks it up, and it really gives it like some kind of punch with a I don't know, the red looks really nice. I guess that's all let's turn that off. That has a little bit more contrast. And then again, these are just a bit undone. We don't have rails. I'm really lazy. I don't really want to put rails. I just want them to be responsible and not like, it feels like we should put rails, but I really don't want to make anything anymore.
I say just leave it for now, and then you'll add them later.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's how it works. But the bones are good. Um, and it's really tall. You can see caught down there. Oops, I'm in the wall.
So really, that means it's like 6 feet tall.
Yeah, but you can see like from the top. I do have to worry about like what's going on the floor here. I probably want to use the same floor pattern because I think surfaces like this light really nice because you can see like it's got brass and it picks up a lot of reflections. So I do think about like colors and the materials and then how that's going to affect like the whole shot and how it looks and stuff. So yeah.
What's up, Solus?
Okay.
Solus SWF0.
And again, that's our main hall. We'll do one last quick look.
What's cool though is it like I know that that's the main hall, but it looks like you can go in any freaking direction, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff wherever you go, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, this doesn't quite work. You can travel the way this is set up here. I'll try to do it slow. Like you have the main hall, and then these.
That's not textured yet, right? That centerpiece.
This one? No.
No, okay, because those should definitely be red.
Yeah, they're not done yet, so they're incomplete. But it does kind of work. Just visiting this layout, it's kind of really fun to do. These windows make no sense, but it's okay. And then we have some of the flooring.
When you go to a lot of old churches or old buildings, they'll have little nooks like that make no sense whatsoever, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's where the priests go to smoke crack or something. I don't know, to do something they shouldn't.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, it kind of works in that way. You can see, yeah, it doesn't really work because why? There's a window here, but we're not going to have shots back there.
Jupski's asking, do we use Substance Designer? There's no Substance Designer on this. All of that stuff is
It's all geometry.
It's all geometry done in Marvelous Designer, so it's all fabric.
Yeah, so it's all simulated.
It's all simulated fabric.
Which is, if you're listening to that, you're probably like, what? Because it is what? Like, it's very
idiotic.
Yeah. Miguel was like, why don't you try putting like fabric on the walls? And I took it very literal. I'm just moving down the hall.
Well, no, I took it the way you took it. I meant it the way you took it.
Oh, okay.
You're really good at Marvelous, so I was like, well, you're so good at it. Let's just do it all with fabric. I didn't know you were gonna go that crazy, but I should have known.
Yeah, last look.
So that red door, that's where like their Messiah kind of hangs out. That's his room. So
Yeah.
he's the Thread Tempest. This short is basically called the Threadlings Episode 1, the Thread Tempest. And the Thread Tempest is this guy right there. So he's like their Messiah. He's their Harry Potter. He's their Luke Skywalker. But it's not about, the story is actually not about him, but he's a big part of the story.
Yeah, he's a huge part. And you can see, like, we really tried to build up that room. There's a variation over here. I don't think there's any light. Maybe I can turn something on. This is generic one. Let me see. The scene's really big. There we are. So here's like this is
door that is not the Thread Tempest door.
Yeah, so because you have to have generic things, right? But big, I really like that red because it just really pops.
Oh, I love it.
But we don't have a lot of it because otherwise it loses its design meaning. But I think that's kind of all I have to show for this for now. So I'm leaving this here. And again, all this stuff is ready to be textured. Whatever the team can't do because they get hired because they're so good, like we lose them, I'll end up texturing at the end. The only piece I did texture was this big piece right here. But you can kind of see like what's kind of cool about our team is that we're really consistent together. You can't really quite tell who did what, which is really nice. So we don't have like you don't really want individual touches on this stuff because it will just look jarring. But we're all like in the same groove.
They're it's a gang of awesome ladies.
Yeah, they are so good. Some of the it's like a dream team, I would say. So I'll close this so that I have better performance. And then I wanted to show you this thing that I'm working on. So this is an extra, and I know he doesn't look like impressive. And I kind of laugh showing you this. I think my tablet's pen.
These characters look idiotic without clothing.
Yeah. I think my tablet pen is like weird.
Just unplug it and plug it back in. That's what I always do. My tablet goes possessed every other day.
Yeah, like I forgot how to use ZBrush or something. But yeah, so this right now is an extra character, so there'll be like crowd. And if you were paying attention to the stream, you'll notice like there's a tremendous amount of work put into the main characters, but we can't do that with extras because we'll just never finish. But this one here is designed. What's going on? Oh, not this guy. These are the parts here.
They're designed to be very modular and very Muppety.
So like these eyes are just they're just spheres. They're not done yet because we're still conceptualizing it to see if this works. But what's kind of cool is like if you just move their eyes in or you move it out, they're designed to like to have these separated eyes. And then we could probably scale them up and down, I would assume. And then the nose is something we'd want to swap out, but also be able to move it around a little bit. I don't know how that's going to work, but it's basically Miss Potato Head. Maybe we won't move the nose. Maybe we'll just have like multiple variations. So you can see how like I have this one here, this one, and then this one, and then just moving around the eyes.
We should have a sharp one, like a snowman, or like a beak looking one.
Yeah. And again, like these are now like different characters. And then if we move them up, they just become different characters. And then their facial expression, they'll just kind of like, they have like a thick lip. They'll just like be Muppety, just not do a lot.
Yeah, they just have to look scared or bored or whatever.
Yeah, I guess I got to put like some kind of teeth in there, but they're super background. But like if you were to look at, and I keep saying it, like Cot looks so bad, so weird without his clothes. The clothing does really make the character. So
Well, just go back to that Thread Tempest for a second. That is the same model.
yeah, it's actually the same model.
But you could see how cool he looks there and how stupid he looks in ZBrush. The clothing makes these guys.
It does. Especially, Cot looks this is what Cot looks like. This is every time I see this is a path trace render and I can tell.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Same thing with Mayo, but
Well, you could always try to turn on Path Tracer and see how long it takes.
no, I think the environment's too slow. The thing with Path Tracer is it doesn't work well. It doesn't just you can't just turn it on and everything is balanced. Like you have to rebalance all your shaders and your lighting.
Yeah, but remember we have the Dell computers now, which are monstrosities.
That's true. We'll see. We'll try to make everything in Lumen, just make life easy. But the cloth stuff makes it hard. What I want to do here, like I have Marvelous open, and I do have this here, like just to try to design some of the extras. I think the hats make a big difference, right? Like this is Shrog's hat, right?
Yeah.
And then that's Zort, and that's Kot's hat. We don't want anyone to have any kind of hat like this, but we want to put like some of this cloak. You can see Zort. Mayo is really different because Mayo is Mayo.
Mayo has a punk rock glove. Mayo is punk rock.
Yeah, he's got a glove right here.
Yeah, with knuckle stars on it.
And then Zor is special because he's the chosen one, but everyone else is actually like in this color palette. So I'm gonna try just like making something live on the stream, and this will kind of inform us if this idea even works. Just by looking at them without any clothing, there's no way for me to like go, oh, this is gonna work out great.
You know what I would do for some of these, for example, like zoom out for a second. I would almost well, let me see if I could just do it like this. Give me 1 second. Just leave. Oh, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Can
What are
I
you
do
gonna
that?
do what?
No, I was gonna do something that makes no sense.
Did
Like,
you want to draw over it?
yeah,
Just take a screenshot and then share your screen
yeah. Let me do that.
so you guys can see our process. And this works great. So I assume what Miguel is going to do, he's taking a screenshot, is he's going to do a quick draw over it. And then I'll just interpret it as something, and it would just be something else.
Give me 1 second.
But yeah, I'll start by building a base for the hat. So while Miguel's doing that, I can do this. Um, so base for a hat is like a way for the cloth to just stay
Wait,
to
can
the
you go to the front again? Sorry. Just front view. Do you have it there? Okay, just let me
Yeah.
do that real quick. There you go. All right, do whatever you want.
Okay. How's our audio sound for everyone? Hold on. Just checking the sound.
Let's see. Let's see.
And we'll just disable it. Anyway, while that is happening, I'll continue doing something. Basically, I just wanted to do a kind of block and piece for the hat. So all the clothing on these characters do actually get simmed through Marvelous. And they're all built through Marvelous. And they do not go through any kind of cleanup phase. They come straight from here. It's just kind of easier for us. What I'm using is the line tool, which helps me create pieces of fabric based on what I draw on it. Someone says we sound robotic. James, do we still sound robotic?
Let's hide the camera then. How's that? Is it any better?
Okay, it's fixed.
It's a camera. Whenever we have the camera, it goes crazy.
Yeah, so we're not really showing our faces because sometimes it also gets really slow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just draw this base wrap thing. Okay. And I'm looking at him in wireframe mode because it helps me gauge where the halfway point is just by looking at the edge loop, literally. And the wireframe mode doesn't show on top of shaded mode, so it's like it's just kind of clunky. Yeah, it's a bit clunky. But I want like a wrap, and I want to have enough space around the neck. If it's too close to the neck, it's going to have trouble simming it. And this piece has to be big enough that it doesn't slip off the head. And it will go probably through a lot of testing. And then once it's good, it can just be applied. This base one could be the foundation for all the extra stuff. And then the extra clothing will have minor variations on it, but with this as a base. So, hold on, that didn't come out right. So the shape is something like this. Let's turn on the textured surface. Okay. I'm kind of worried that it wrapped around the head a little too much. But if it doesn't wrap up enough, meaning like if the piece is not enveloping the head right, it will just kind of slide off the head while it's simming. So it is kind of tricky. But I've been doing it a lot on this project, so I'm kind of prepared for this, or like I can do it.
You know this tool pretty well at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable. Now, I've probably shown stuff like this before, but I've never actually tried to. I mean, I did Mail live, meaning I did design his clothing during one of the streams that we did earlier, and it did get modified. Once you draw a shape like this, you can highlight the shape like that, and you hit enter, and it will produce like a little a piece of cloth. But this here is not going to work very well because it needs to actually be cut up for it to sim properly and be relaxed. Because you basically have to picture the shape as a paper. So could paper actually bend like this and wrap around really tightly to the skull? And it really can't. So I'm going to slice it up. Like, that's how I think when I'm working on Marvelous, especially when I'm doing this part. Like, I go, can paper bend like this? And if the answer is maybe, then I'll just leave it alone.
So those seam cuts you're doing are just stylistic, like, yeah, it'll...
No, it's not stylistic.
So that it could deform.
Yeah. It's just like, imagine, could a piece of paper wrap like this without crinkling? And it can't. Okay, I'll just do this. I think it needs to be cut here, and then can this piece. Well, I know this can, if I cut it over here. And then I'll cut this one here. And I think that works. Now it's 4 pieces. And I'll just select these. The selection is really tricky. You can see I'm having a hard time selecting it. So there's some stuff that requires so much patience, like this part. Okay, now I'll press enter. Question. Are you keeping UVs in mind at this stage? No. So the UVs, they come in at the end, which is pretty easy. You just go to UV editor and you can just lay it out. But I'm not really worried. You know, it is a strange workflow. It makes total sense for us. And the reason why I say it's a little bit strange is because we are not doing any mesh cleanup. We just take this straight to sim, or like straight to substance, to texturing it, and then it's exported. And all the cloth is actually simulated. Which I know Unreal, like we spoke to some people that work there, and they are developing like cloth sim to be nicer. So that will probably change this workflow and then keep you more in Unreal. But at the moment we're relying on Marvelous. I'll just save this. Someone say you, Miguel. Each cloth piece will be its own medium. No, it will. It's based on texture density. Let me save this here.
Thank you.
Oh, it says mic problem again.
Mic problem?
Yeah.
What do you mean mic problem?
I don't know. It's just a chat. Okay. Now I'll just mirror this over. And I usually have the helmet base.
What we heard was their real voice. They're actually robots. Yeah, that's that's funny.
I'm going to change this fabric property to full grain trim leather. And I have to sew these pieces over, also slip right off. And then this one too.
Right, let's see this and this.
Let's do free sewing. And I should be able to free sew this. Okay, and now sim this and see how like it holds on the head. There is like a hovering distance, if you notice. Like there's this gap here. That's just a skin offset. We can lower it to 1.5. You don't want it at 0 because it's actually going to crash into the skin. Let's lower it to 1. I usually try to hide it, but I'll keep it like this for now. And then maybe lower. Let's keep this up here. It is kind of hovering. Okay, so we have a piece here. And then maybe he looks kind of funny naked. So I just put like some kind of clothing so I can visualize this a little bit better. How's the concept going?
Uh,
I think just like rough, if you give me like rough something, like rough ideas for shapes of the hat, that would be
I will.
more helpful. I'm gonna just give him like a weird dress. Okay. It's gonna be super rough. Let's make this symmetrical pattern with sewing. And I'll just copy this. When I copy and paste it, it maintains the linking. You can see there's like a line in between. And this will be the back side. And it's just so, I don't know, he's not naked. It makes it hard to picture. And I'll just kind of work on both sides as we go. Let's pull the neck up. Let's sew the pieces because everything will fall off. Okay. And let's sew the shoulders because that will fall off. All right, cool. There's, all right, now he's not naked anymore. I think a lot of getting them to look different is in the hat. Like, how do you picture their hats? Do they look like Schrog's hat?
I think a lot of them can have that, but I also think that, I was doing some tests, and the problem is, I like that some of them have like pointy hats, like way pointier than that. The problem is then they start looking like very identifiable.
So then,
right? But that might not be a bad thing that you have a few that have tall hats and you have a few that have hats like Shrug. I think Shrug's hat is probably the best for the ones that are all
I mean,
mages.
Can you give me like quick thumbnails of just like shapes?
I'm gonna give you that.
Okay. This because I don't know what to do with the hat. Let's see.
I would make that one more like Shrug's hat.
You have a perfect background character when he looks like he would be the first one to die. Okay, I guess that's true.
Well, you'd be surprised who's the first one to die. This is our film. After this ain't no Pixar film, kids.
Yeah, that's true. I don't remember how I built these hats. Not like my brain is like, how did I do this again? I want to have some kind of thickness here. So cot like has like this little puffy thing. They all have like a puffy thickness. So I want to put something there. And I think the shape, I want to adjust that too. There's like this S curve here. It looks fine. I guess it's fine. I usually noodle a little bit around here. I don't like these red points. I'm not a fan because I find them really difficult to manipulate. And they're, it's tricky to be smooth. Like you just have to move these points here and I don't know. I don't like it. So I changed the mode to not use these red points, but I'm going to delete everything. And what I'm doing right now is just marking this with the pen tool. It's not a marvelous tool. That way I can find my curve again. But Marvelous really likes that tool, and I really hate it because everything kind of defaults to it. But yeah, let's put this back here and just simplify that curve. Okay. Maybe just leave that straight. Let's sim that. Let's pull it forward a little bit. I usually don't want to reshape the head too much, but when I saw that curve, I just felt it's a little bit more tricky to deal with later. Okay, let's move this out. And I think what I'll do, now that I cleaned that one up, let's clean this one. Because again, it's much easier for me to manipulate this when they're not using the red points. Okay. If you notice, these have Bezier handles. Let's clean that up. Let's sim that. Okay. I'll just move this out of the way. And I'll just do offset center line. And then I'll use this to build the thickness. Let's just guess to see where it looks here. And then we'll do one over here. Let's clean up this curve too, because it's going to be difficult for me to manipulate. Like there's so many dots. Okay. Let's sim that. And then maybe shape this a little bit. Let's add an outline here too. I think I have to lower this a little bit. Set this to 10. And I'll redo this one because I want them to line up. This will be 10. Let's delete that one. And let's sim that. And then what I'll do is I'll trace this as pattern. So I'll come and use the trace tool. And I'll select the edges around it. Then I'll trace this pattern, which will produce a separate pattern on top, which is all the way up here. And I don't want this cloth to be, this piece here to be leather, because it looks really firm. And it works great as a base, but it doesn't crinkle very well. So I'm going to use cotton sateen. And I'll change the color because white is really bright. And we'll just assign that. We'll just assign this one too. I'll throw this over here. And then I'll also trace this pattern. Okay, so we'll have two strips like this. And I'll make them more vertical. Yeah, they kind of just pop up in space. I won't mirror this one yet because it will probably have some issues. But I'll sew it. And I'm being a little bit lazy in the sewing. Okay, let's sew that. Sew this. Okay. I can really see how, like, by attaching this, it's pulled this shape around the face down a little bit. So I'm running into issues. And I'll mirror this over here. And then sim this. Maybe I messed with something I shouldn't have. I'll come back here and let's sim it without it. So it's like tighter. But maybe it's not really tight to the face anymore. Sorry, everyone. But I can't actually proceed. Maybe when I adjusted the curve, I kind of messed it up. Let's do that again. Okay. Let's put this piece up here. What do you think, Miguel?
I'm doing hats. Let me see. What do I think about what?
I don't know. Just whatever I'm doing.
I'm not paying attention at all because I'm trying to get these hats. You know, I think with these guys, what we need to do is make them have things hanging all over the place that looks really stupid. That way, it bounces around and gives it a bunch of secondary motion to make up for the fact that we're not going to have a lot of motion on these guys and their faces.
I see, the way like Muppets are.
Yeah, so look like. Let me hide this.
Show Actually, show that to me on the stream.
I mean, it looks terrible.
Yeah, but
I'll show it.
that's how it is. And then, yeah, let me see. Let me take a screenshot of that.
You see, that stuff could all be bouncy.
But the hat is pretty flat. It
You have
doesn't have a lot of volume.
you have sharp, pointy hats, simple little hats, but they all have like these little silly, kind of going back to like the idea we had for a while, where they have like a space age vibe to them, but totally not space age because it's all fabric. But it's kind of like the Jetsons a little bit. But all of this would have all this bounce to it. Basically, the dumber it looks, the better, right? That's really,
Yeah.
that one I don't like. I mean, that I like that, but it would have to be from a much more important character. But I would just start doing stuff more like this.
Okay.
Like just having things coming off of it that looks really stupid. And goofy, I think that's the idea.
Oh crap. Okay. I think I'm having problems with my hat. It's not hugging the head right. So I'm trying different fabrics. But it's again, I'm just having some issues.
Hue saturation.
So I'm trying different fabric properties because it's just hovering over the head. And like there's this gap. And so it's not a very good base. Maybe it needs to be smaller. Maybe the shape here. Like how do I hold it around the head? Because when I put that second piece on, it just kind of came off. Maybe I'll do this. So I'll layer clone, or I'll add a line here, and this will be 4 centimeters. And then I'll do it over here too. And then I want to add that weird piece that Miguel made. I'm going to cut this off. Cut and sew. And just separate this a little bit here. And then what I want to do with this one is I'll layer clone this over that and assign it this texture. And I'll also assign it the same cloth, which is just cotton sateen. And then we'll sim that. And then here the normals are backwards. You can tell by because they're dark. So I'll flip the normal. And then I'll puff both of these up. And then maybe that will look tighter in the head. Let's give it air pressure 10. I'm actually looking at it and thinking that I don't like it.
You know, if we kind of get them to look like sea monkeys, is kind of cool.
Sea monkeys?
You know how like sea monkeys had those cool little crowns? The drawings of the sea monkeys, not the actual sea monkeys. Actual sea monkeys are the worst ripoff in the world, but what we thought sea monkeys were going to look like. There's such an awesome animated film in the making at the moment someone turns sea monkeys into a film.
Yeah.
You never had sea monkeys as a kid?
I did. I'm just having all kinds of issues today.
And you weren't disappointed?
Super disappointed. They didn't, like, I don't know. Something's up with this. With this hat. Or whatever, this whole thing I'm making. I feel like it's crash and burn. That we removed is linked editing. Let's get rid of this. It is doing weird stuff. Like that. This is like, I don't know, a newer version of Marvelous. And then there's times where I'm just feel like it's not the same. And it's like that right now. Okay, let's delete this. So like I am usually kind of pretty careful about newer versions because some small thing changes and it's like really weird. And right now I'm just like kind of confused. Let's sew these together. I'm not doing good. I'm like bombing on this.
No, you're not. It looks good.
No. I'm kind of wondering how I even made any of the other characters.
It's because your mind is not on this right now. You've transitioned over to architecture mode, and we've been writing so much that you're getting back into the hang of it.
Yeah, let's try this again. Let's copy this, paste. And then I'll sew these before I flip them. Layer clone over.
Well, you wanted hat variations. We have a bunch.
Yeah. Show some of them.
I'll show. Let's see. So one of the things I did is I just kept the exact same character, but just added fur. I used this program called Magnific. So you feed it a design that you already did, and then you tell it, like, make it look like it's made out of fabric or whatever. That way I could kind of see what it would look like a Muppet. So you can see it's the exact same thing that was already there. It just now looks like there's fur on top of it. And when you're doing a real quick concept, it helps a little bit. So then just going through some of the, so you have this like star-shaped. I like when they look wonkier like this, when they're almost more asymmetrical. So that's all hats. These here. That kind of looks like what you're doing now. Much tighter.
No, I'm just having issues. I'm just gonna save this and I'm gonna open my previous file. Like right now, it's not even operating the way I think it should. Let's look at 39. Professor.
But anyway, you can see it's kind of cool because we can get a real fast sense of what it would look like with some sort of fur on it. But it still keeps the exact same 3D model. So you could just kind of jump ahead and see, like, is this a good route or not? you're ultimately not going to use this thing. It's just for you to kind of get an idea of whether it would work or not. So we'll do that just to see. But you have to feed it something. So you can see it's like literally I turn it on and off. It's the same. But it's kind of cool. So I don't know if I were to feed it this thing, if it would make it. But I'll try it. What the hell? Like, let's see what would happen if I just grab this and let's make this. Do I have this on a separate layer? So I'll just start putting some sort of colors into this, and then I'm going to feed it into that and see if it'll give me anything. How's it going, Tran?
It's whatever. Let's see.
So let me mess with this, and I'll come back and I'll show you guys.
Yeah, I have like this weird loose piece of fabric. I'll just layer clone this again. And then I'll flip the normals. And we'll just inflate this. And maybe this stuff will not work out very well. Just look kind of funny.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not certain what I'm doing right now is going to make it in the thing, but
Well, I just hate the whole base, and it's just weird. Like the shape of it. And I can see all the issues. Let's just try cleaning up the shape. Okay. So this is why I don't like the red dots. It's very hard for me to manipulate. Okay. There we are. Maybe this will be a little bit better. It's got this S curve. I'm being really OCD about it, but I can't deal with it.
let's see.
Okay, so this thing still has these red dots. And I'll just noodle this more. Okay. And then I probably, right now they're layer cloned. So that means what shape I fix will affect the other one. And then I have this pinch right here because the way they're sewn. It's also doing this weird stuff like this. Like, I feel like the latest version does this a lot. And so I'm kind of worried. So that's why I'm a little bit distracted, because I actually started freaking out that it was doing this weird thing.
The Donkey Show. Hello, Miguel and Tran. Happy holidays.
But this is not good.
Hello.
And I'm trying to understand why it's doing that. Okay, so the sows are not actually completing itself. Okay, now it's not doing that. That's good. Let's save. I still have your one screenshot. I actually didn't get your other ones or your other shapes.
I'll give them to you in a minute. Let me just do this thing I'm doing right now. Just give me a moment. Donkey Show is Max. Oh, I didn't know Donkey Show is Max. Oh, it is. That's from from the show he had on was it YouTube, right?
Let's layer clone this.
You see, Ruben is saying that they're learning more from watching you Twitch, but yes, from watching you troubleshoot.
What is going on here? Okay, let's make this layer clone over. Let's also layer clone this. I just want to see how it looks. And we'll make this a little bit larger. So I'm adding weft and warp, which makes the fabric a little bit larger. And I'm adding air pressure. I just want to see how it looks together. Like if it's like that. Maybe the air pressure is too strong. Well, what it is I'm only applying pressure in one direction. So if I put air pressure, these also have to have it to counter that. So that this is 30, maybe that's too much. And these don't have any, and that's why they fly away. This one would have to have like, you know, if this is 20, positive 20, this has to be negative 20. And then you can see it's not flying away. Okay, so we have like a base hat. And I don't really know what to do with this here. Miguel had like some horn ideas. Those are actually like really kind of difficult. There's also, maybe we give him more like ears, like Cot has like these ears. Right? Shark actually has real ears. Mayo has real ears. Zort doesn't have any ears. Some people just have ears and some don't.
It's completely random.
Yeah. Can you show me some more shapes that you came up with?
In a minute, I will. Not right now.
Okay. Maybe here, like, if I look at this, like, there's these flaps. Or like, what do I do if I want this to be higher? Or if I want flaps? If I want flaps, I need to sew some additional pieces. So maybe I'll get rid of this. And it has to hang on to something. So maybe I'll just draw a piece. And this will pop up here. And we'll try and make this the same length. With this light curve. So they just kind of match. And I'll just place like a so. And we'll sim that over here. Okay. I'll break the layer clone so that I can mirror this over here. And this could show up over here. And I think it shouldn't pop up. Okay, but now we have these like weird flaps. Hold on. Okay, so I have some kind of flaps here. And then maybe on here, like I'll put like some kind of ball. Or like something, so something can be stitched here. And then I'll look at the length.
So, okay, so you want me to show some of the shapes? Okay, so I'll show some of it. Okay. So I did this hideous thing, but you could see some of the other shapes. But what's interesting is this. So you could see, come up with something like this, and then just see what would that look like if it's more fleshed out. So you can see it's the exact same model. Nothing has changed. So we're not taking anybody's stuff, right? You're just grabbing a design that you have like this, and you're like, add more detail to it. So it's adding more detail to a sketch that you're putting in there. And from that, you're getting something like that. Now, you might look at this and be like, oh, that's totally crazy. But you could see every line is in that underlying sketch that you had in there. The eyes were not purple. I just painted that in Photoshop. But you could see how you can really quickly start seeing if something is going to work or not. If you completely hate this, that's fine. Then just use this and then bring it into Marvelous. Spend a whole 4 hours to figure out that you hate the design. But this lets you just jump ahead and be like, do I like this? Do I not like this? It's still your design 100%. Do you like it or not? If you don't like it, don't use it. But it's a very interesting pipeline for coming up with really weird stuff. So I started drawing all of these, and what I probably do is just draw them like this. The closer I could get this to look like what I want it to look like in Photoshop, so really roughly blocking this in like this, I probably would have spent more time getting this to look a little bit better, like more sense of shading, and then it would have given something like that. So it's very interesting. There's that, there's this, there's these guys that look more like they're serious. And the other thing that I think would be really cool is having like an entire mask on these guys, like something that looks like an owl face, Tran.
Yeah.
Something that looks kind of like this, just completely covers their face, and they could be like the police guys. Do you know what I mean? And you could have something that looks like that, but it's all quilted.
I think that's a good idea. Then no one has, they just have a mask.
And they're owls because owls eat moths. So you could have something like that. It has a little callback to Voice in the Hollow, and you cover them up like that. They're like the police or whatever. So we could do something like that also.
That would just be like a rig thing, right?
Yeah, you just kind of add it onto them. But what I like about these hats is just how stupid they look.
Well, I
Do
have a stupid hat here for you.
I think what you're doing actually looks pretty. Let's see.
Clone as
There you go. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. And you know, ultimately, whatever we do, we still have to execute it in 3D. So it's an interesting tool. And that way you're not just putting a prompt and waiting for something that you had no input in. You are kind of steering this thing into however you want.
Yeah. Let me change this color. I don't know. What's that on his head?
That's kind of cool though. It's like he's like an eraser. He's he
An
looks like
an eraser?
yeah, they look like pencil erasers.
They do. What can I do with that? Like, how do I push it further?
I would just give it like a swirl or stripes going up,
Stripes going up. What about this?
horizontal.
What about these flappy things?
I would just round them off like those pilot helmets.
But they could be they could also be dimensional.
Oh, they should totally be dimensional, but that gives it like the bouncy stuff that we like.
It does. We could also, let's say I don't want to delete this. I'll just deactivate pattern sewing and then hide it. I could also do a thing. I deleted that one. Put layer clone over. This one I'm not using. Let's give it that fabric. We'll break the linked editing. I'm gonna do symmetric pattern with sewing. Over here. So now there's this layer here. Give this 20. Let's make this a little bit larger. And then I could steal this. I can do small ones. Let's see.
I like the eraser head. I think it looks so dumb that it's great.
Yeah, but I want to try it here. So maybe I have like these things. I think this one could be a problem because it's around the neck. It crashes into body. And then I'll get the length of this. $22. Write that down. $22.39 because I won't remember it. 21.65. Yeah. And then I'll make a piece of cloth with the width of 22.39 and the height, we'll just do 10. So that one will be this one, and we'll do another one. That is 21.65. Okay, and then we'll sew this. I don't know which direction it's going to come in.
I think it looks pretty funny.
It's going to shoot really far away, which is not the smartest thing to do.
By the way, this workflow that I'm doing with that Magnific, this is actually the first time I've ever used it the way I'm using it, like just drawing block shapes to see if it could actually even do it. Because this tool is like a week old or something. So, but it's pretty cool. What do you think about that, Tran?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
So those would be shorter though, right?
Well,
The ones on the side like that?
they can be. They're not right now. Let me sew this.
No, I mean shorter like that short. I think that's fine.
Sew this so that they have.
Donkey Show, are you saying what tool am I using? What tool is Tran using, or what tool was I doing for the concept stuff? JD Smith.
Okay, let me grab this and then clone this
What's up?
over. Okay, so that's his hat. What else should I do to this guy? So he's just like this,
He kind of looks like Finn a little bit.
from Adventure Time.
Oh, the tool. So Donkey Show is asking. It's called Magnific. Let me just show something real quick.
I think I have to give him some clothes. And then probably some pants. See, like if we shrink their shirt. Do they have to have pants?
No,
Should they? You think they should have pants? Or they just like wear like a robe?
they could wear a robe. I'd keep him simple.
I feel like without pants though, we could have problems.
So then, there's your answer. So let me just show Donkey Show this. So it's this. So a lot of like these AI programs, they just expect you to feed a prompt and then it gives you an image. This does not do that. So it wants you to feed it an image and then it adds detail on top of it. So let me show you like, okay, so this is a good example of one where you could see this is all CG. So the whole render is there, right? The art direction is definitely there. The lighting is there. Everything is there. But then this runs over it and it just takes it up a notch, well, more than a notch. But you could see it's the exact same piece, just way more detailed, and not just detailed in the sense that it's just sharpening it or whatever. It's just making it look pretty freaking incredible, right? And it doesn't just have to be for CG. Like you could see this is this image, and then it's just giving you all the detail that is blurry. So this for like restoring old videos or whatever is going to be incredible. You could see that. You could see that. So the test that I was doing is I'm like, how low can I go from a conceptual point of view to feed it something and it fill in this silhouette into something like fabric, right? And that's what I was doing here, where I had something that looked this basic, right? So starting with something like this, filling it in, right? I mean, that's as bare bones as can be. And then typing in silly hat made out of fabric, it's all there. And then you could see that the shape that it gives me, if I were to overlay this on top, it is exactly the same. Right? So really quickly, you can kind of get 1,000 different ideas. And then if you like it, then you actually move it into 3D. And if you don't, you don't. But it's not making anything for you. You are designing this hat. It is just showing you like, what would it look like if I spent a few more days on it, right? And I don't have to spend those days to find out that I don't like it. Now, this doesn't fully work because we don't have anything that looks like it's crochet.
Yeah, well,
But nonetheless, it's just interesting. Again, I literally was testing this on for the first time on the stream to see how it would work. But it's pretty cool. And I mean, I've used the tool before, but mostly to upres stuff. Not to just grab something that is this rough and see if it works. We're having audio glitches again.
yeah. I'm not sure what's causing that.
It's probably because I'm sharing my screen. So let me pass it back to Tran.
Okay. That is weird that we get that because we have good, strong computers. Yeah, I don't know. This is like all I can seem to muster in me. Like, it's gonna take. Maybe it's just my mindset. Like, I just gotta just keep pumping them out, and I'll come up with something. I'm thinking.
But was it still pretty clear though, Donkey Show? Like, was I saying even though I sounded like my Optimus Prime form, was it still I mean, my natural voice is idiotic sounding too, so it's probably not, not making much of a difference. Okay, cool.
I'll hide this. Let's give him pants. The reason why I said I think there's trouble if we don't have pants is like if these guys like fall down, like because there's action sequences, and
These
then
guys are all getting ripped to shreds.
yeah, it just kind of, I don't know.
Who was it that said that earlier? Like, you know, you have a good actor when they look like they would die first. Netbug. You have a perfect background character when it looks like he's the first one to die.
Let's get this back here. Let's
The
get
red shirts in Star Trek.
let's get pants here. They right now they look like these guys looks really sad. I don't think they look so great. Oops. Okay.
Mayo does have a. If Mayo's pants fell down, he is anatomically correct.
Yeah. He has stuff. Uh,
Does he cavalry cheese this guy has?
let's see. The sim is really slow. Oh, also this went inside the body, which is bad. Can fix that. Just pull it back out. Pull it back out again and try to resim it. Let's reset this to 2D arrangement. Same thing here. And it'll probably do better. So once the leg gets stuck inside, it's really hard to take it back out. It just doesn't want to work. Okay, so now I have some kind of pants thingy. And then also the trouser. Okay, so he's got pants. He has pants. They're like really tight.
Hey, they work.
They work. Part of me just wants to like still Zort's clothing or something like that. And put it on here because I think his pants look better. Like I was thinking they have pants and then they have this cloak. Or maybe I should just be worried about the cloak and then worry about the stuff underneath. Just delete it.
No pants?
No. Because now I'm worried it's too many layers. I'll do like the coat.
I like that hat. You know what? The Threadlings are going to make millions of dollars on a hat collection.
how Shrog's vest looks. I guess it was just like this. Let's get rid of this. This be the back. But yeah, I guess everyone can kind of see like,
The workflow.
yeah, which is like, I don't know. You know, it looks like I don't know what I'm doing because I kind of don't.
Yeah, it totally looks like you don't know what you're doing. You just made something looks pretty cool in a few minutes.
No, it's been like an hour. And I'm like, okay,
You designed a cool hat in an hour.
okay, let's get this up here. And then we'll just have that be open. Part of me just is like, maybe I should have just done the helmet or something like that. It's also, you know, I don't know how Jared does it. Like Jared and Matt, they like just do everything live. And they're concepting everything like on the spot.
That's because they're smart and they just focus on ZBrush. The problem why you're having a hard time is because
Oh, it's super technical too.
no, it's because you jump around from ZBrush, then then cloth stuff, then Unreal, then lighting, then so it takes you a moment to readjust.
It does. I want to have this. Okay, so this is a cloak. I like this more already, even though he's naked underneath. I think I worry about what's underneath in a little bit. They also have all these collars. Like the collars are a thing. Like this is really weird. I want to give them something like that too. And maybe they'll have like just something really basic. Like I'm thinking of,
Drupski says suspenders, but we don't have suspenders in this world.
yeah.
They're robes.
I'm thinking I want to carry some of the designs and snap this together. And I want like a shape. So I want this to round off.
Hold on. Netbug wants to know how many background characters. Well, the idea is that they're modular, that a lot of them end up just kind of looking very similar. That's kind of why Jupski, to not shatter your suspender loving heart, the reason why we don't want something that's so different is because we kind of want these guys to be as generic as possible so that none of them really stand out.
Yeah.
Or else one of them might have suspenders.
No, they need to be like Miguel said, it's super generic.
Which I always hated that. Like even when I would watch like Shrek back in the days, like you could always tell the background characters from the main characters because they just looked all stupid. That they didn't look like that back in the days of 2D animation because it took just as long to draw the background character as it would to draw the main character.
Yeah. Let's edit the stitch here. So I gave us a curve down here. I think that looks nicer. I want to curve this up here because I think that will look nicer. And they all have like a thickness.
Now he works at Target. You know how the Target guys have those vests?
Is that
Yeah, they have the little red vests. Is it Target? I think it's Target.
I think I'll do this. Offset this as internal line. Oh, that's really weird. It's not doing it right. is. Okay, so 3.5, let's do it over here. And then I want to add a thickness. The one thing that we do here is there's usually a curve. So I'll do this. I'll add like a point here. And I don't remember how I did this to match up. I think I just kind of did this like really painfully. Just eyeballing that. And then I'll grab this and just kind of snap this here. And then curve this out. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll also trace this pattern. So by selecting all these lines, I'll get like this pattern top. Let's move it down. And then I'll do this side. This is very weird. The second one is not a pattern, it's like a weird, something weird happened. Let's try it again. Okay. So what could be causing that? Okay, it's the fact that this point is not snapped to the end. There are a lot of things that you just have to be so patient with. Like every time I tap, I accidentally move the entire pattern when I don't mean to. It's really frustrating. Just, or like things being slightly off, like not being snapped. Snapping is very, very difficult in this program. And then let's just sew this manually. Okay, so this will, that's not sew. We'll free sew this. And I'll just do one. Usually, at least I usually like to just do one. And then once this sims around, I'll clone it. What happened here? Okay, it's a fabric property. Okay. And we'll sew the other ones. Okay, so those are sewn now. And there's a little gap here. I'll sew those two together. And then now that I have this, I will mirror that over. And then I'll grab these and make them a little bit larger and lower the particle density. And this one did not sim well because it was inside. So we'll just pull it out. Okay, so now we have something like that. It's a little bit crinkled. I think what I can do,
Marvelous designers on this the thing. They just put a heart. That's nice.
here, I'll cut this off. And I'll cut this off.
See, marvelous designer watches you marvelous design.
Well, I can use more lessons. I'm going to make this firmer. And see how it sims now. Oh, I should. I cut it off. Maybe let's not cut it off.
Megan is on there, so she says if you have questions. I just saw the notification. So do you have any questions for Megan?
Not particular questions.
She does, but just probably not at the top of her head, but she always has marvelous questions.
Yeah, I always have questions.
Yeah. Maybe we should get Megan back on the stream. People liked her a lot. So a lot of the Gnomon students go back and watch that episode.
Yeah. In that episode, I learned things from Megan. You know, and use it like intensely. This is such a weird design. Okay, so he's got a cloak, which is loose. It's going to fall off, but I'll figure out a way to stitch it to the clothing underneath. And then I feel like maybe giving him a collar.
It's 3, by the way.
Okay, so I guess we're... So Donkey Show says...
Donkey Show, if we want to know more about Microsoft Outlook and cigarettes.
Yeah.
Max is the one, whenever I see Max, I smoke a cigarette. So, Max, how do you feel about giving me free cigarettes for 15 years? That is question number 1.
I don't know. Do you even think like the characters could be like this?
Yeah, of course.
They're just so, I don't know, weird. Okay.
That's how they all look. They all look stupid. That's kind of the great thing about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add some lines. And then see if I could trace this. I'll have this piece. Well, I could probably do this. Just grab this. Grab this. Layer clone it.
You know, that's something that you should ask Marvelous to do, because you keep doing that thing where you duplicate it and then you inflate it. Like if there was a way to just automate that where you could just select that and it just does, because it's basically the same thing over and over, right? You're just duplicating it, moving it aside, adding the weft. Like it'd be cool to just speed that up. Like the equivalent of a bevel button, but for fabric.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. I think we'll end like maybe here. I don't know if this is gonna...
Deselect it, let's see the hat. I would make those lines go horizontal so that they accentuate how stupid it is going up like that.
Horizontal?
like cutting across horizontal to the.
So not vertical?
No, but it's fine. You don't have to do it right now. I mean, you could honestly just do both of them, and then you have two variations.
Let me try like pushing it here.
Like, would you wear that hat? You would wear that hat.
Would I wear this hat? I would not wear this hat.
I would wear that hat.
No,
Like, you wouldn't wear it out in public because you'd be made fun of, but if no one made fun of you, you would love to wear that hat. We're gonna make millions off of Threadling hats.
Okay. All right. He's got a cloak. He's got a funny hat. I'll probably go back and like reevaluate this. I'll probably do like a fresh start in the next one when I'm figuring it out. Maybe he's making mask, like Miguel says.
Megan says you could hide your snacks in the ears, or those are beer cans. Remember in the 80s where they would have, or was that the, yeah, it was the 80s where they would have the construction hat with the two beers and then the straws. You remember those?
Yeah, I do. That was like really common.
That was like at all the mall like gift shops.
Yeah, I think what we'll do here is you can see I was building that cloak. That's, I don't know, keep some of the language. The buttons kind of prevent it from flapping around too much. And then building a collar. And then again, it's mostly the hats. But maybe having them naked was like a bad start. Like I was just looking at a naked guy. But
All votes for the Threadling fashion show. Netbug says he's buying the first designer hat. We're gonna have Kanye West model it and charge $5,000 for the hat.
I don't even. Yeah, it might be even more than that if you have Kanye West on it.
Yeah.
But okay, I think we'll call this it for here. And, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys. So next week we're gonna be out in Florida, so we're not gonna do the stream, but we'll be back beginning of the year. So see you guys. If you want to follow us on Instagram. And thanks to everybody, Gnomon, and big thanks to Dell Computers that they sent us a second computer this week. So this project is fully now running on Dell computers that they are helping us out with, and they're monstrosities. So thank you, Dell. And yeah, that's it. Have a wonderful holiday to everybody. Marvelous Megan, thanks again for your support. Congrats on the Maxon announcement too. Thank you so much. We're very happy about that. And next year, hopefully, we'll be able to announce some big news that we have not been able to announce yet. But if you follow our Instagram, it shouldn't be hard to figure it out. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. And we are out of here. And talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.